Hey, it's Domain Dave from CheapWineFinder.com. And we have another podcast for value price wine we wrote up on the CheapWineFinder.com website. 3 times a week we write up a value priced wine. Been doing it for a long time. And in the last few years we've been plugging in the microphone and doing podcasts, and here we go. This is a $10 New Zealand wine. It's the Dashwood Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc 2023. It's one of those taste of Marlborough wines. It's sourced from vineyards in 2 of the main valleys near bays. That's in New Zealand. You got these bays and these valleys are there, and the cold air comes in, and the valley has. You want to put the vines on this rolling ground in the valley, and this one is. And in New Zealand, if you have an estate wine, it's going to cost more, and you're going to get it from an estate vineyard. And if you're going to get this is $9.99. I found it on sale for $9.99. And this is from multiple vineyards. And the one thing I gotta say is I really like both of them. And these are kind of formula wines. They have good grapes, good growing conditions in New Zealand. These are not overly produced wines. They pick the grapes, they ferment them, age them, and out to you. Now, there are details that they can do, and this wine was cold soaked, and that means they brought the temperature of the juice down after it was picked to like 38 to 40 degrees, and then they cool fermented it. And a cool fermentation just takes longer to ferment. If it's a warmer fermentation, that happens quicker. Cool fermentation is slower, and they use a variety of yeast. Not that that's unusual, but for Sauvignon Blanc, there are certain yeasts that bring out certain flavors. So you can make the wine do what you want just with the yeast and how much, how you blend them together using more than one. And then you can take just good grapes and give them some complexity, because this batch has this yeast and this batch has that, and you mix them together, and you're going to get a little bit more than what it would have been otherwise. And then stainless steel, no oak, nothing like that, just stainless steel. This is the formula plus some interesting details. I'm going to take a sip. It's got that nose you come to love, that fruit and citrus just exploding out of the glass. It's bright and it's sleek on your palate. It's got really good flavors. There's melons, there's tropical fruit, peach and pear. It's a nice little spice, not over the top spice, a little spice of grapefruit, pineapple, kiwi. All these different flavors in there. None of them are too strong, none of them are too bold. They all kind of blend in together, and it gives the wine really good length, and the acidity is really well balanced. It doesn't overdo it, doesn't go too far, but it just keeps everything going, gives the wine length. It doesn't get buzzy or tingling on the lips, that type of thing, but it does its job. It's a really nice job. I like it. This is a tasty wine, $10. What do you want, I've been drinking a lot of Sauvignon Blancs that aren't from New Zealand or the Loire Valley in France lately, trying different places, because at one point, if you wanted to, if you're looking for value price, you went to New Zealand, and now a lot of other people are figured out how to really make good New Zealand, not New Zealand, Sauvignon Blanc wines, and actually places you wouldn't expect. But I've had a bunch of good ones from the Central Coast, from Sonoma, from Washington. I've had them from Italy and places like that. Seems like Sauvignon Blanc has, generally speaking, has It has become part of the wine drinker's consciousness. It's just a great grape. Just a lot of fun. There's an explosion of flavors, explosion of scents. Easy to drink. And $10. So that's all I got to say for myself. This is a good wine. This is the Dashwood Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc 2023. It tastes good. It's a sipping wine. I've had more and more wines recently that really would do better with a plate of crackers and cheese, or maybe some nice salamis or something. You don't have to go too expensive when you do that kind of thing. Just whatever local, because if you're having fun, you can use a saltine and cheese whiz and drink it with wine, and you're going to have a good time. You can do better than that, but, it gets the job done. But this one, you don't need that. I mean, this one's a sipping one. This one's Netflix. This one is, you just want to have a good time. You just want to sit and you're talking with friends, and you just want a wine in your hand, and you want to sip it, and this wine won't get warm. Your palate will say, "Get me another sip of this." So there we go. Adios. This is Domain Dave. That's the Dashwood Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc 2023. I found it for $9.99. You probably can in that ballpark. So keep it cheap. I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days, and we have more though. As it cools off, it's more wine time. When it was 199 degrees outside, it wasn't really wine time, but it's getting there. So adios. Keep it cheap. Bye-bye.